Okay, I watched it that time, and it actually counted down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, that's its job. That's the whole point of the thing.
Right. So it actually did it this time. Okay.
Man,
That's what.
It's been a week. Emotionally, physically, taxing, tolling, rock and rolling. It's been one of those. How are you doing, Cobweb?
You know what? I'm doing pretty good today. I'm like really ecstatic and everything about my nephew, Sean Charles II.
What's going on with Sean Charles II?
It was his signing day over the weekend. He was on all the local television stations about him signing his acceptance letter for his college scholarship.
Nice.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes. He's going to play some baseball. You know,
nice.
Hopefully he'll be signed up pretty soon to some major league contract within the next 2 years.
That's
you
good.
know how MLB comes, they'll come down and get you real quick. So let's hopefully he'll finish his college education at sooner appointed time. But you know me, I'm gonna always tell you, if the money's there on the table, you better take it right now because it might not be there tomorrow.
Yep.
Might not be. Yeah. Never turn down large sums of money. My dad taught me that a long time ago. It's like, no, never turn down large sums of money.
I need to run into large sums of money so I can not turn it down.
Yeah, me too.
I know, right? Right. Is that a large sum of money? What would we consider a large sum of money in today's standards?
At least $1 million.
$1 million would be a large sum of money?
Yeah.
That is a large sum of money.
Well,
that is a large sum of money.
Somebody come up to me with 10 grand right now, I'd be like, that's a large sum of money.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. How many people just drop 10 grand on your desk and say, hey, Josh, I need you to go to the store to go pick up some milk and some butter?
It's been years.
Exactly.
Somebody came up to me right now with like $500. I'd be like, that's nice. That's nice.
What you need me to do?
Yeah.
Right. Today, if somebody came up to you and with $10,000 and said to go get them some milk and a list of groceries, I'm like, it's not enough. It's not enough for the bill.
For the bill alone.
Yeah. You're short a couple hundred.
Shit. I know, right? What is up with that?
Do I get to keep the change? I'm making enough.
Oh man, are you shopping at Aldi's all the time? Do you guys have Aldi's out there in Texas?
We got H-E-B.
H-E-B? What the hell is a H-E-B?
The greatest. This podcast not brought to you by H-E-B, but H-E-B, you want to throw us a couple of gift certificates? Want to throw us a sushi poke bowl, whatever you call it?
What?
H-E-B's got everything, and it's not like it's a grocery store plus.
Okay.
It's not like how they had Super Kmart's back in the day or like Walmart Pluses. Okay. H-E-B is 95% grocery store, 5% everything else you need. They just happen to have small amount of everything else, but H-E-B is amazing.
Okay.
You can look at
like Aldi's here, but they have everything's in boxes.
No, man, that's Costco. That's Sam's Club.
Yeah, we have Costco and Sam's.
Well, it's like Aldi's is different. It's like you have to pay for your they have no people to actually shovel the carts in. You have to get your own cart, and you have to put a quarter in the cart to get it out. And when you put it back, you get your quarter back. Right?
Oh, that's cool.
I know,
mean,
right?
it's not cool, but it is cool.
Right. So nobody actually pays for you have to pay for, if you want bags, you have to pay for them or bring them. Okay. So people just normally just take the boxes that they have the food in, that they sit out there and just use those for boxes that go out and carry that out.
We used to have that back in the day. It was called Mega. M-E-G-A. Mega. You have boxes and shit. Man, just get on the TikTok. You know where we're at, Cast of the Pod on TikTok, and look up.
Oh, that's right. We're on that, aren't we?
Yeah. Look up people that have moved into Texas and how they're amazed at H-E-B. People that have moved from everywhere else in the country, and they get to H-E-B and they're like, I'm here. I'm H-E-B sold me.
I'm not convinced.
You hadn't even looked it up
been
yet.
to one yet.
That doesn't matter.
You have to go to one, and then you'll be convinced. But I do like that idea about the quarter. Because
no,
because there's lots of times when we go to the parking lot, we're parking, and then there's a car in front of us, and they're so lazy that they don't want to put the basket back in the basket container thing, and they just leave the baskets there, and then a wind comes, and then they hit the cars, and then there you go, we have bumps on our cars because people are lazy to put the baskets back.
Or you have to pay more money on your food because you have to pay for somebody to pick the carts up and bring them back into the store. Well, you could just do it for yourself for free.
So
I mean, you get your quarter back, right?
Deb, stop.
Right.
Deb, stop.
What?
You're not taking into consideration that there's going to be some people that are like, you know what? Is a quarter worth my time to take my cart back? No, I'm just going to leave it out here in the cart.
Listen,
hold on a minute. There's going to be a couple of people every now and then. That's what we had when we had megas back in the day. And then there's going to be those people that take up hey, look, somebody left a basket out here. And they're just going to leave them, and it's going to perpetuate. It's not going to be as many as now because people are going to want to get their quarter back. But
it doesn't work like that way, Josh. Not all these shoppers. What we do is, if you don't want to take your cart back and there's somebody in the parking lot, you just tell them you want this cart, and they just take it. And sometimes they'll give you the quarter that they had was going to put in it.
But then how do they get their quarter?
When they take the basket back, then they get the quarter, the original quarter.
Right.
Oh.
Jeez, Deb.
Yeah, it happens all the time. If you don't feel like taking your cart back, you just look and see somebody pulling up. You're like, you want a cart? They'd be like, yeah, here's your quarter, thanks. Or not, keep it. Peace, deuces. It's a quarter.
You know what I got to say about all this grocery store stuff?
What?
Hey, Josh. What, Josh? Hit the intro.
Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre.
Wait
specifically
a goddamn
horror films.
minute.
What?
We were doing the intro. Why'd you stop the intro?
No,
because you can't stop.
Now she's fake ass Deb. Fake ass Deb. All that was just so you can do an intro? I thought we were talking. We were communicating with our friend who was giving us information from the other side of the country we're not in. And you're like, that was the intro. No, I was talking to
We need
Cobweb.
something to get all these lazy people to not leave their baskets.
You need to stop yelling into the
lot.
Microphone. That's what I'm saying.
We need to get people to stop being lazy and leaving their baskets in the parking lot so they can hit other cars. People come to the stores and they just bought their car, their vehicle, their Jeep, their van, and then a lazy person is like, oh, I'm too good to put my basket in the basket holder. I'm just going to leave it here. And then the basket hits a new vehicle. That's all I'm saying. We need to find a way to stop all that laziness.
See how it's laziness when it's a new vehicle, but if it's somebody's vehicle they've had for years and all that shit.
Well, either vehicle. Nobody wants to have a basket hit their vehicle, no matter how old or new it is. I know I don't.
That's right. Hey, Josh.
What's up, Cobb?
Now you can hit the intro.
Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre, specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence, and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. However, if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
Yes.
Banger all day, baby.
And that way I could do less editing. Check it out. We'll just have the underlying music playing already. So today, since you know we are a podcast that talks about horror stuff, horror movies, you know.
Yes, not grocery stores.
Yeah, I know where all that shit came from.
Whose fault was that? Who started it?
Y'all.
Hey, people know what they're talking about out there.
So today we're going to talk about the 2022 R-rated film. It's an hour and 44 minutes. Deb, we saw it on what, Shudder?
Yes, on Shudder.
Unwelcome.
Oh, that's what we're doing today?
Yeah.
What did you
I didn't know. I didn't know. I forgot. I was like, I hope we're doing this.
About the red caps.
Right.
Oh man, you scared me there for a second.
It's okay.
I thought you were gonna be like, "Are we talking about Under the Skin?"
Oh no, we're not doing that anymore.
We already did that one.
Yes.
Man, you legit scared me, man.
Man, don't worry about it, dude. It's okay. I mean, I just wanted to make sure. I mean, we never really talked about it, like what we were going to do. We just said, hey, you know, that's a movie that we should watch, and that you guys watched it, and then that was it. And
what?
Dude.
Remember, we're only
See how
doing
he tries
audio.
to break my concentration, Deb?
We're only
He does
doing
this all the time.
We're only doing audio today, so I don't know what you're talking about.
God help us. It's going to be one of those nights.
Hey, you know Reverend Run left the group. He don't want to have nothing to do with about it. So, allegedly.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Ron left the group.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he like on his social medias ain't got nothing to do about it. Ain't nothing, whatever. All it is Daryl.
Hey, cool out, man. Don't be messing.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Don't be messing. Run DMC can
Jay
never
passed
break
away.
up. Run DMC can never break away. Okay, that's like killing the Fat Boys and shit. Damn.
They have a new member.
Dude.
Did you see he had his own pop?
Yes, I did see he had his own pop, and I was a little jelly about it because I wanted my own. I don't have a cobweb pop. Jeez.
I don't have a dead pop either.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why aren't they cast of the pod pops?
Yeah.
Because he's 34% of the group and only
33.4%. Get the math right, Deborah. Shit. That 0.1%. So we got to get back on track. I mean, I wrote down notes for this shit and everything. Look at this. Look.
Oh, he's got like a page and everything. Okay.
Yep.
Page and a half.
Let's do it, man.
For Unwelcome. Are we ready to go into it?
Let's do it.
All right. It's directed by John Wright. Writers Mark Stay, John Wright. Stars Hannah John-Kamen, Douglas Booth, and Colm Meaney. Colm Meaney is the guy from Star Trek The Next Generation back in the day, the Irish guy. Chief O'Brien. And then he's done a whole bunch of other stuff. He would be the name out of the group. And it says, married couple Maya and James escape the urban nightmare to the tranquility of rural Ireland, only to discover malevolent and murderous goblins lurking in the gnarled ancient woods at the foot of their new garden. So I say that's a little off. Well, yeah, because it is their garden, but it's their willed home. Just like bad parenting goes in these horror movies, people getting willed homes that they hadn't. I haven't been here since I was a child. Or I heard about that crazy uncle. We never got to hang out with him. Yeah.
There was so much in this movie that I was like...
it was. How many times did you get mad?
Lots.
I lost count.
It's in the notes. It's in the notes. So let's start off with now. Like I said, it's been a hard week, physically and emotionally, for Deb and I. So if I'm a little off track or for a little off kilter, I apologize right now. So I'm trying to get into.
You have been warned.
Yeah, you have been warned. You know what the tagline for this movie is?
What?
Beware the locals, all of them.
Ooh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So
that's pretty cool.
Starting off on the production of this movie, I think the movie looks great. Like the camera work was great. The background effects were great. The red caps, the trolls or leprechauns or whatever they are, look amazing. We'll talk about that later, why they look amazing. And I think the two main actors, though, the husband and the wife, I think they're very generic.
Really?
Yeah.
Like anybody could have played them?
Because like I've seen her at first. I was like, here's this generic actress. Well, actually, first when I saw the husband, I'm like, this guy looks like Harry Potter. He looks like all these guys that look like Harry Potter now.
Okay.
And then her, I'm like, man, I've seen this actress, not this actress, but this face of this actress, this look all over the place. Come to find out that she was the actress in Ant-Man 2 that I was thinking of. And I was like, well,
it was her.
Yeah, it was her. She played
So you
Ghost.
can't really hate on it.
Yeah, she played Ghost in Ant-Man 2.
Okay.
But yeah.
I think I've seen that. Yeah, okay, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. I like Ant-Man too.
It's all right.
Yeah, I like all Ant-Man.
Better than Ant-Man 3, I'll say that right now.
I think I fell asleep during Ant-Man 3.
That's neither here nor there. What?
Who wants to go in first on this movie?
Okay. Let me jump in here right quick. Right. Let me paint this out to you guys right quick about this movie. Let me stress this up. So it's this husband and wife, right? She's pregnant and they're living in England or wherever that town is, Ireland or some shit, right?
No.
Wait.
You jumped past a whole section.
No, they're not. Didn't move there. This is at the beginning of the movie when they were sitting back there chilling. Yeah, at the start.
At the beginning of the movie, they're in England,
right?
And they're in the courts. They're in England,
right?
Right.
And the husband's out. The husband goes out to go get something to fucking drink.
They find out that she's pregnant.
Well, we already knew that. I ain't got to that part yet.
Well, no, because
let me do this.
You forget.
Just relax. No, it's not important.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. They didn't want to have kids. They even said, I thought we were going to wait and blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, surprise.
It's always like that.
But I mean, it's a point in the movie where they make a point to say it. So it's kind of important in the character development.
I understand, Josh. You really want to push this.
I spent the whole day trying to remember. We saw this movie a week ago, right before all the shit hit the fan. And so I spent like all of today trying to remember without watching the movie. So it's all fresh point of mind right now.
Fresh in your mind? Yeah. I get it. I get it. And you know what? Our listeners probably need to have a little bit more. Sometimes you give those details out that are really important.
So go ahead. Continue.
It's like Josh funny.
My bad.
Right. So this guy, he goes out to go get something to drink because he says he's a freaking alcoholic. And he gets interrupted by some rude boys. And he just tries to like normal people just walk away and just keep on going. You don't give any rude boys any type of information or things back. But what happened was he responded back. He was like, look, it's just something to drink because I got, some liquor because I'm an alcoholic, which give these guys some medicine, to follow him back to his house, kick his goddamn ass and almost beat the shit out of his goddamn wife out in front of him when she was pregnant, and he had to sit there and watch that junk, so that kind of like was detrimental to his psyche. So they just get up and just move out of the city and move out to this Ireland country where they try to start their lives over into his inherited house. And then that's when they find out that this house has all these baggage that comes with it, and it's some shit from straight nether.
So
did we just hear some cobsplaining?
That was some cobsplaining right there. Because I think we saw multiverse versions of the same movie.
Because he didn't buy he bought non-alcoholic beverage.
Non-alcoholic
because they
beverage.
were celebrating her being pregnant.
Yeah, they were
and he
like,
turned around and told
see that's it's actually in my notes because he was like, it's non-alcoholic because she's pregnant. It's and they're like, what are you, a millionaire buying champagne? And he's like, look, it's not even that. And on my notes it says, hello thugs, that he's obviously scared of. Make sure to tell them to fuck off because that's gonna work.
Yeah. He's like, now fuck off.
Exactly. You never
get
the
main thug.
Exactly.
The main thug was like, fuck me?
No, fuck
you.
We also saw Born in East LA recently. So,
oh wow. See, but that's true though. You never give rude boys any animation. You just stay away from them as much as possible. Once they start trying to engage you, you don't respond back.
I think they would have let him go until the next time they saw him. Then they would have given him some more bullshit. But because
it wouldn't have been a situation. Why would you engage someone that's outnumbered? What did we talk about in the other movies about engaging people?
He called out the main one, and the main one looked bad in front of his boys. So now he's got to do stupid main one stuff.
Yep. So if he would have just kept walking, because he was away from them, they stopped at the bottom of the stairs, and he was already like almost up to the top when he turned around and said he had an alcoholic beverage. So if he would have just kept walking and gone to his apartment, you think they would have just like, and then went back and found somebody else to bully?
Yeah, exactly.
So time out. I'm going to say that Deb doesn't listen to anything you and I say. She's just waiting to say her lines. Because I literally just said...
No, but I was asking you. I was asking a question. Do y'all really think that would have happened?
I answered that question before you asked it, which means you weren't listening to anything Cobb and I were saying. You were just like, "This is the question I want to ask. This is the question I want to ask." I'm gonna sit here. My words are gonna come out. And the whole time, me and Cobb are having this conversation, and Deb's not listening to any of it because she literally just asked what I just said.
I just want to make sure you were saying I heard you right.
Yes, Deb, you're absolutely right.
Lord, absolutely right.
Oh man, but here again, there's a situation.
For it, Josh?
Why you gotta be truthful, Josh?
You could have just not said anything and just kept going on with the podcast, and I would have left you alone.
And you would have done the same shit to Cobweb and I again. Me and Cobweb would have been like,
I would have waited till y'all come back.
We would have been like, me and Cobweb would have been like, and that's how you beat the red caps. And then Deb's like, well, the way that you beat the red caps is.
Did you? Are we doing Debsplaining tonight?
I don't know. I have to deal with Debsplaining every day. 24/7. Why do you think my eye looks like this?
Don't do that. Oh my God.
So anyways, we are now 3 minutes into the movie. Maybe 3 minutes. They move out to Ireland because you see this old lady who lives in a shoe. No. You see this old lady pass away in front of her house, and you see like the next door neighbor all sad, and they wheel her away, and then next thing you know, Maya and Jamie are moving into the same house. Come to find out that was a great aunt somebody or another.
Mm-hmm.
And in my notes, right? If you go to get this house that your crazy great aunt-in-law is willing to you, and you're in this little village, and as you're walking through this badass house and your badass yard, and you actually have woods that are part of your property, and there's this fucking gate, and it's got a human-sized door and a little bitty wee people-sized door.
Yeah.
And your next door neighbor who says, all of this is yours for free. She willed it to you. Everything, blah, 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 blah. The only thing is she believed in the old ways. And because of the old ways, she leaves a blood offering. And you're like, wait, a blood offering? And she's like, yes, just every morning she'd leave a wee little bit of, say, like raw liver or a piece of meat off on the side. And you're like, whoa. And that next door neighbor who was the best friend of your great aunt all this time says, if you don't mind, I'll continue with the tradition. I'll do it myself. You go, yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me.
Go ahead. Be my guest.
But Maya's excuse, she yells and screams at this nice, possibly crazy old lady. No, I was attacked by 3 thugs. rude boys in my apartment, and I don't want you, the only person we know here in Ireland, to walk in my yard that's an acre away from my house, and you're going to tell me you're going to do this every day at the same time, so I know it's you, because you, old lady, reminds me of the 3 hooligans that ran up into my 7th-story apartment and whatever. Shit.
Let me tell you something. Okay, that was so fucked up. That whole concept, the way you painted that shit was just as bad as it fucking sounded. It was that fucking bad. I don't have no idea in concept why she would even act like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't understand the old ways. When you're talking about the old ways in some other places, it's different. You know what I'm saying? What are the old ways? What are these traditions that you're talking about? She just ignored all of that.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
You're moving into a village where everybody
Blood
there
offering?
I know that's weird, sounds creepy, and all those, to us silly city dwellers.
Well, we are silly sometimes.
But you're moving into this old village. Nobody likes you yet. Nobody knows you yet. And they're all probably all whatever. And it's not going to affect you at all. And she offers to do it. You don't even have to pay nothing or whatever. She goes, I bit my tongue. If it's okay with you, I would like to continue the tradition.
I would have been like this. I want to understand why you want to do this. You know what I'm saying? And whether or not I actually want you to do this type of shit on my fucking property.
She told her.
Mine. I know what you're telling me, but I want to understand why this. Because if it's some real ass shit, then it's some real ass shit. This is the stupidest part in the concept of human beings.
Okay.
Okay. The fact that we would sit up there and believe in a higher power, but we will not believe in the other power exists.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because they are both yin and yang at times.
Because if you believe in Superman, then you got to believe in Lex Luthor. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And there's things that we just can't explain. So, and there's one more other thing that this has got going for it. It's a movie.
Well, right now we're in the movie world. We're in the theater, and we're telling her, don't walk down that, don't go down. She did it. She did it.
Yeah.
So
there was a lot of me talking to the movie this time around.
Right. And then it was stupid
doing
too.
The yelling.
They were stupid too. How they hired that family to come over and fix the roof in the house without even going out and just hire somebody that you don't even know.
Didn't they tell them not to?
So
after they did it.
That's my next point. Right. They make the horror movie trope of we're safe here. You don't ever say the words when you move into a neighborhood. They were there 30 minutes. We're safe here. It's like, no, you already pissed off the next door neighbor because you're like, no, I'll do the blood offering that I obviously don't believe in. I just laughed in your face about it, but I'll do it. And then right after that, they go to like the bar, they go to around town, and everybody knows the aunt. Nobody has anything bad to say about the aunt except the younger kids who are kind of like, oh, that lady. And then they don't
understand.
Right. And then they run into let me find their names. What was the daddy guy's name? Daddy Whelan. They run into the Whelans. Right. And so if everybody in your town is a carpenter and every one of those carpenters in your town is currently busy, and you run into the one group of carpenters that aren't busy at all, that should tell you shouldn't hire them.
Yeah.
That was some really stupid shit. He was not adequate with that. And then when they came in and shit like that, why the fuck? And then that drunk told him, said, don't do it. Yeah. And he was absolutely right. How you gonna come up in somebody's house and shit like that just in the morning, just start making yourself at home, talking about you getting to work without knocking at the door or doing nothing?
Well, that's also that's also these motherfuckers we've talked about in movies, and a couple that I know personally may be related to that don't lock their doors.
Yep.
Well, you know that door could have been locked. That door could have been locked, and them fools just opened it up.
Nah.
That's the type of no. They think about who you're dealing with.
I believe the wife and husband didn't lock it
because we're safe out here.
Safe.
Man.
Because there was a lot of times, towards the end of the movie, where they had to run to the door to lock it to not have somebody. They're like, "Oh, we gotta lock the door."
Yeah, they were stupid. It's gonna stay in a different whole area and not know anybody and just leave the doors unlocked.
So the drunk Rory and the dog Molly, they get kicked out of the bar because they're like, "Oh, you hired the Whelans. Just don't trust your lady alone with the Whelans. They'll be playing with her fun bags or whatever, blah blah blah, something like that." And then they get mad at him for saying the truth.
Telling the truth.
Because they got offended.
Yeah.
They didn't want to know it. They didn't want that bad negative image to be about the town and their area. That's what they didn't want to happen.
Once again, if everybody's a carpenter and everybody's booked up, how are you going to go to the one buddy that's not booked up?
Let me tell you something. The whole concept that he made her call him daddy.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that, Deb? What the hell is that, Deb? Explain that to me.
I have no explanation. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, everybody else in the town were saying Daddy Whelan and his boys. Daddy Whelan. Everybody called him Daddy Whelan.
Yeah, but that's just weird.
He wanted even Jamie. He wanted Jamie to call him Daddy. It wasn't a sexual thing or anything like that.
I don't care.
This is when
I'm not calling you Daddy.
To get out of calling somebody by their name that you don't want to call them by their name, you just wait till you do eye contact. And then when they look at you and then you start talking. Trust me, it works.
So this is the cool thing that I thought. What was his name? Owen. But it's did you use your captions? Were you rewatching? I
can't remember. So, no, I did not.
Now in Ireland, the name Owen is spelled Eoin. Owen. Yeah.
I didn't know this.
So every time he spoke and before they said his name, it said Owen. I was like, what? I was like, what? Owen? What is it? What is this? So it's like Owen. Oh, yeah. Was Hodor. Christian Naren, whatever his name is. The big guy from Game of Thrones. Hodor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The DJ.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I watched a little bit of it from time to time, but I know what you're talking about. I remember that image. I seen that. Dude.
He's a DJ. He's really good, too.
He's a DJ.
I didn't like that.
Even though he's a giant, massive, whatever guy, you wouldn't think. Like, huge. I mean, dude, what if him and Shaq got together and had the Giants of DJ Throwdown?
I wouldn't listen to it either way.
Shaq's a decent DJ. Both of them have DJ'd here in San Antonio.
You know what? I'm not going to front on that. Shaq is good. He does what he does, and I can't do it like Shaq does. So
that's
God bless him. You know,
yes,
right. But as for these fools, I don't like not one of them people in that family. Not even one of them. The father's the worst of them all. And that brother, and I knew he was horrible, how he was doing stuff and going through their possessions and stealing things and everything else like that. I wouldn't want them people in my house. I would have fired him that day. The first time he would have got lipped on me or something like that, when he said some rude shit, I'd been like, get out of my house.
Yep.
Yep.
Will you pay this one? No. You just, no. Goodbye.
Done.
Right there. Yeah. You're not going to insult me in front of my wife, and I'm paying you to do work for me?
And then as they're driving off, he'd stop them. He'd call them on the phone. Doot, 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 doot. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to, can you see me from here? Fuck off. He that's what he did to the Rude Boys. So, yeah. And then they'd come back later on.
Yeah.
Dumbasses.
So as they're in the bar with everybody, right, and when they ran Rory and Molly off, Molly's being the dog, she's like, oh, so did you leave the offering out today? And she's like, offering? What offering? Bitch, how many offerings have you been talking about?
Right, we didn't talk about one offering.
And she's like, oh, I forgot. She's like, you can't forget. You can't. And then you start hearing all these tales about the ant and how everybody loved the ant. It got me to thinking, maybe at this point in the movie, we don't know. Spoiler alert, the red caps are real. Leprechauns are real. Right.
They weren't leprechauns.
Well, it's a different version. The non-people in the circle would just generically call them leprechauns.
Okay. Do you know why the red... Wait a second. Let's deal in... Since we brought up the name, the red caps.
Wait.
Okay, wait. What are you talking about? Why you stop? You didn't brought up red caps now.
So, what my point being... Maybe everybody knew that she was protecting everybody. She was holding the red caps off by feeding them every day, by taking care of them every day. Maybe that's why everybody loved her, because she rarely ever left her house. Her husband and her child were gone. But nobody had anything bad
because
to say.
the what's-her-names didn't really believe in it too much.
Who's that?
I don't know about that. I don't think everybody knew about that.
Because nobody
but everybody
had
who
anything.
loved her.
Yeah, think about when they went to the grocery store and they got bags of food and all that, and they're like, "Oh, you're Maeve's." Well, no, not Maeve. Yeah, was Maeve there?
Yeah, you're right. They did.
Not Maeve.
You're Maeve's nephew. Don't worry about it. It's free. It's on the house.
And he was like, "What? Thank you."
There's a reason why. The respect level.
Yeah,
and what she did,
because she was taking care of everybody. She was taking care of the red caps, and she was taking care of the town.
The fucking
she was like the mom of everybody.
So red caps are like a mix of like the hobgoblin and garden gnomes.
Do you know why why the red caps hats are red?
Because they're like tops of mushrooms?
No, because they dipped the hats in the blood of their victims.
So they were fucking Smurfs.
Yeah.
With their white hats.
Yep. Or whatever color it is. That's how they keep them red from their victims, by killing.
So people have brought this up. We're gonna jump out of Unwelcome real quick. People have brought this up to me that our podcast is not scary. And I've been like, it's not the point of our podcast to be scary. Well, it's a horror podcast. It needs to be scary. No, it's the three of us.
Movie.
It's the three of us friends talking about horror movies the way that we would talk to ourselves if we were just here bullshitting about the movies. Basically, we're talking to each other about the movie that we got. Cobwebs on one side of the country, Deb and I are on the other side of the country, and we're catching up talking about this movie. And we happen to know some of our friends are online listening to us too. Our listeners, our people, our Patreon, our
They want us to be more scary?
Well, the thing is, this is like people that I know on the daily that have listened to it here and there.
Oh.
And they're like, well, it's not scary. Well, it's not supposed to be scary.
The subject matter is.
So with that
That's
being
some scary
said,
shit.
With that being said, you want to hear something scary?
You saw a red cap? No.
When I was younger, I saw something that would have been that type of creature. But anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. Do you know the whole idea about the Smurfs?
The Smurfs?
Yeah.
No, I have not. I never did the research on the legacy of the Smurfs.
The Smurfs are woodland creatures, right?
Right.
That live in mushrooms, that if you look at their hats, they're white mushrooms. You know why? They would find these white mushrooms under the bodies of frozen, most of the time children that ran off during the winter. And when they would turn the bodies over, the mushrooms were growing from the decomposition and the warmth being covered. And the reason they were blue was because when you die from hypothermia, you turn blue. So they're the souls of the missing and deceased children of the forest.
Dude!
Yes. La, 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 la.
You just screwed up my whole section of my life. I will never look at Papa Smurf ever again the same.
Yeah, but yeah, they make little toys and they have movies and happy kid stuff and all that. And it's And
well,
now
there you go.
So they're souls of the missing,
frozen, missing. Yeah. Yeah.
Man. But if you get 6 of them together, you can make gold. So Gargamel says.
So was Gargamel really a bad guy, or was he trying to get the spirits to go on to the whatever? The name of his cat was Azrael. Wasn't Azrael a demon or a fallen angel?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now you know.
Things that make you go,
Yeah.
So going back to the Whelan family, I wrote this down in my notes. And you've already touched about it, how they're vagabonds, how they're, I use the vagabond, how they're ruffians and no goods. I wrote down thieves, the lot of them, and I spelled it phonetically. Thieves. Yeah.
Thieves?
Thieves. All of them, they're thieves. The lots of them, they're thieves.
So you wrote it down with an accent.
I wrote down. I told you the story about the comic book, right?
No.
Bro.
Story time with Josh.
Okay, more sharing.
Hit the music.
More sharing with Josh. Because of the case of dyslexia, as a child, reading comprehension was not my forte. And so if I did better in school and whatnot, my mom would buy me comic books. I didn't like comic books, but it was just, they're going to buy him. Let's buy him some comic books. See if he likes whatever. And he's a kid. Kids like comic books. And they bought me comic books when I started doing better in reading and everything like that. Reading comprehension. Now I score even as I got older, off the charts. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But, one of the first comic books, not first comic books I got, one of the first ones that actually grabbed my attention was a Green Lantern comic book. I can't tell you what number it is. I had to find it. It's when he fights the Javelin. And you know Green Lantern's weakness back in the day and kind of today?
The color yellow.
Yeah, which is stupid because all you have to do is paint your bullets yellow and then just shoot them.
Aren't they yellow anyway?
Bronze.
Well, some like gold.
But yeah. So, the Javelin had yellow javelins, and he stabbed Green Lantern in the air, whatever. And he wrapped him like in a yellow plastic balloon or whatever. And on the first page of that comic, I'm trying to read it and I'm getting upset. I'm telling my mom, like, I can't read these words. And I thought it was dyslexia that was messing me up. I'm like, these aren't words that I know. And then she read them out loud and I was like, oh. So the Javelin tells Green Lantern, and I remember this vividly a bajillion years later. This was at elementary school that I read this. It's not their falls that will kill you, Green Lantern. It's their sudden stop at the bottom.
Yes.
They wrote it phonetically like that. And I was just trying to, this ain't English. I wasn't even thinking that it was any other type of language. I was just like, the letters didn't look right to me.
Oh.
And so, roundabout 40 something years later, now it says thieves, the lot of them. Thieves right here.
Jeez.
And that's sharing TMI with Josh.
We should do that as a Patreon segment. TMI with Josh. TMI.
So getting back into the movie. Getting back in the movie. Maya, right?
What?
So Maya, I have it right here. I hate this shit that when people run into conflict with other people or whatever, their excuse for everything is psychobabble.
Yes.
Everything is explained by science. Everything is explained by a psychiatrist, whatever. And it's like, no, sometimes the people are just fucked up. And sometimes people like to keep their fucked up stuff in and don't let it out, because when you let it out, it fucks you up. And for a lot of people, though, I am not anti-therapy. For a lot of people, it makes a world of difference and a world of change, and it's great. But for some people, they just work best
internalizing
and never letting it out. They die a few years earlier than other people, or whatever, or they're grumpy all their lives. But I mean, sometimes that's for the best.
Let's leave them the hell alone. Dude, let me tell you something about this family that really pissed me off, right? First of all, I didn't like the father in that one ass bit. He was all abusive to his one son.
His special needs Hodor.
Yeah, it's straight up like beat him like a doggone fool, man. He beat him like a scalded dog.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, if he messed up or something like that. And then the other boy, he was just ridiculous. And the daughter.
I forgot what the daughter's name was. I can't even pronounce it.
She was a piece of work. She was a real piece of work. I didn't like her not one bit.
I didn't either.
And then the whole fact that when she does go out there in the woods or something like that, and then the kid attacks her or something like that, and then the red caps come and save her, it gets really hairy then, because the fact when that Joker walked up there and he dropped that bag off and had that head in it, I was like, what the fuck?
DJ Headless in the mix.
Yep. That's all that needed to be said right there. Her husband didn't believe him. They didn't want to say nothing. But then as soon as they saw that head in that bag, it was all over. And then that's when it hit the fan because all of them showed up. Like, what's happened to them? Like, they actually care about their brother.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? If they really cared about their brother, they wouldn't have their father beating the holy hell out of them. Did you see all those bruises on him?
Yep.
Oh, because it wasn't that was their brother that died. That was their something. Like that was their property. Now that's their person. They didn't care about it when they were beating on them themselves and they were torturing them themselves. But when somebody else did it, now it's a problem.
He used to do all the grunt work.
He's my brother. I can do this to him, but you can't do that to him.
So as all this was happening, they were having the Whelans work on the house. And the Whelans were working slowly on the house. And they were eating their food and taking dumps in their toilets and not flushing it and other stuff like that. And then so Maya, she goes out and she's like, you know what? I gave my word. I'm going to go and take a blood offering out. And she takes a little sliver of liver out there.
Liver.
She puts it down at the little wee person-sized door. And then she hears something, looks left, looks right, and it's gone. At that moment,
I'd have been like, okay, I'm going back inside. I did my part.
Two things. Yeah. I'm going back inside, and I'm bringing some more back later on.
Yeah. Obviously, this is something real, and I'm calling up a girl. Hey, you want to go do this shit? You said you was offering to do it. You still down with that? Because you can.
My bad. I was wrong. I am too irresponsible to handle this. Please.
And I got a baby on the way. Could you take care of this till I get on my feet and be able to take care of it for myself?
That's when you lie. You straight up call over there and go, you know what? This is far too important for me to handle in my weakened condition.
Yeah. Exactly.
Please do me the favor of what you already offered.
Freaking red caps, dude. That junk was crazy though, right? Them jokers were straight killers.
So this is when you find out that Aunt Maeve sacrificed her daughter in order to save her husband. Now, you don't find out how the husband ends up dying, but I'm thinking it's more of a unalive themselves, couldn't deal with the pressure of losing their daughter to save himself. Or maybe he may have drunk himself into oblivion or something like that.
Hey, you know how it says. You know how I say, Josh. You know what's the most important? You know what's the biggest money seller in stories?
Yes, pain, grief. Yep. So, jumping out of the movie, out of the story of the movie, and going back into the graphics of the movie. You okay there, Deb? Oh, okay. This part of the movie is they kept on coming up with a damn lens flare. Like that Star Trek lens flare, like the lights coming in, it hits the camera, and it started getting distracting for me. Like if you go back and watch the movie, even if you watch it like on fast forward, you'll see that they just everything started lens flaring. It's like whoever the editor was like, hey, I bought this graphic, I'm going to use it. How about this effect? We have to put it in the movie for at least 10 minutes.
I have to see that. I have to go back and check it out because I was just so pissed off at some of this stuff. I was like, what the fuck, you know? Because I knew not to mess with no damn red caps. Yeah. Once I saw that it was a red cap, I knew it was like something was up. You know, I was like, oh, hell no. That's like messing around with a goddamn ghoul.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the red caps actually think a little bit more.
That's like that's like all these stupid motherfuckers in San Antonio that go to the haunted ghost tracks and then, oh shit, that was us. That's like all those stupid ass motherfuckers in San Antonio that go out to the Donkey Lady Bridge and oh shit, that was us.
Don't do that anymore.
That's like all these. That was us too. No, okay. Okay, so as Jamie's getting his ass kicked again by Killian, right? Just by Killian, and the girl finds the sister Whelan finds the DJ head in the bag and goes and finds Dad, and the whole time Daddy Whelan is just all he's really doing is just acting crazy. That's it. He's not hurting anybody. He's not whatever. He's just talking a bunch of shit and all that.
Burning their house down. They burned their house down.
Mischievous.
No, that was before.
But so Jamie's getting his ass kicked. He went and took jujitsu classes and shit, and he's getting his ass kicked by drunk ass Killian, skinny ass Killian.
Right? What was up with that?
And so what does Maya
completely punked out? He completely punked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does Maya do? She goes into the damn Mortal Kombat forest where Johnny Cage and Scorpion were fighting.
Yes,
in the original Mortal Kombat. That's in my notes too. And she goes.
It did look like that. I thought
just like that. I love how symmetrical the orchards were and everything. Like, get over here, but you know.
Right.
And then she finds the little death hut. So this was even before everything goes to shit.
When she first found it.
Yeah, before everything goes sideways. When she finds the death hut and she starts going in there.
Because that's when she was following Molly. Because Molly was trying to lead her over there.
That's right.
And I'm like, when she saw that, I was like, yep, I'm not going. First of all, I wouldn't be in the woods after knowing that something came and took the liver that was in that plate. So that means there's something in there. Why would you go in there to do whatever?
Big and pregnant.
And then you get lost.
Not only was she pregnant, not only was she big pregnant, she was like 11 months pregnant.
Yeah, she was.
She was
the baby was like 2 years old already.
And you already got beaten up by a bunch of rude boys already. You need to be taking yourself down, you know.
That baby was so big in there, it already had a social security number.
It already went to school.
He already got out like Dolomite.
Oh, shit.
Got out. Oh man! If y'all ever watch Petey Weestro, y'all understand. Y'all understand. But here's
go for it.
That whole scene. If you ever pull up something, Josh, pull up the cover for the new Stephen King book called Fairy Tale.
Okay.
And if you look at that cover, it is the exact same thing that happened with her as she was going down there into it. It really wigged me out when I saw it. And I was like, oh, this explains so damn much with the red caps and everything like that it happened.
I see the cover going down the well.
Yes, and what's going down the well?
Her and the dog.
And the boy. It's the exact same thing.
So, this is when we find out that the daughter of Maeve has been the Red Cap Queen all this time. As she gets down into the little death hut. Now, I was thinking, why was she the queen? Was she like birthing new Red Caps? Or how does she become like the...
They brought her in to do that.
Right.
I guess at some point in time, because she got so taller and bigger than all of them, they have to respect her. You know what I'm saying? They just bring in a new queen or something like that. That shit was crazy though, right?
Now that she's old, though, they want to replace her, and they want to replace her with Maya's baby. But Maya gives herself up.
She wanted her to raise the baby because she wanted her own baby.
Right.
So that's what they were bringing her there to be the new baby, the new queen. That junk was screwed up, dude. Them red cats was crazy. But you skipped the whole part when they came there and wrecked shop.
They came back in because she made the deal. She made the deal, and we don't know if she gave up the baby or she gave up herself. Well, she gave up herself, right?
No, she gave up the baby as part of the deal.
No, well, she never said what. She just said, I'll do anything you want.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She never did agree what she wanted. They just took upon what they wanted. And
the queen, the stolen daughter, the older daughter, she was like, "You're too old." She did tell her that.
Mm-hmm. That junk was crazy, boy.
So the red caps come back and they save Jamie, who can't save himself for nothing. Man,
they came back and killed everybody brutally. They put them jokers down. Remember what the best kill when they killed old girl?
How'd they kill her?
Guts.
Oh
yeah, sliced her across the belly, and then she could. Yeah.
That was pretty dope. That was a good one. I thought that, you know what? And then when her husband actually did grow a set of balls, it was the stupidest set that he ever grew in his fucking life.
Yeah. So here's all these red caps, and what does he do? Hits one of the red caps, and then I wrote it down right here. The red cap tells him, "No hitting, silly Billy."
And the wife is like, no, they're helping us.
Oh,
he's like,
man.
oh.
And then she becomes the queen, and they bathe her in blood.
Yeah. No, you missed the whole. Wait, I was thinking about this one part when he stood up to the old Daddy Whelan and shit like that, right? Because Daddy Whelan's got the shotgun on his ass, right? And he was like, "Come on, come on, let's do this. Me and you, let's do this." And he's like, he just pulls up the gun, and just shoots his dumb ass in the shoulder.
But he tells him, he's like, "What? I thought you wanted to do this like men. Let's fight." And the Daddy Whelan's like, just shoots him.
Bullshit.
Shoots him.
Right. I'm too old to be fighting young people. An old man would shoot a young person quick. Right.
Yep.
Look at Josh agreeing, like, yep.
So, I definitely won't say that this is yet another attractive lady covered in movie blood. I will not say that.
No wonder you're in a hurry to get to that part and skipping over everything.
Dude, that was so twisted.
This will not be a recurring theme on Cast of the Pod.
Sure.
That story really got really wild with them red caps in it. They brought it to a whole nother level, man, when they showed up for that house party. Because they turned it out. They was everywhere, man. You couldn't get away from them. You said, "Oh, you want a deal? We got you."
Yeah. But here's the thing. I hate every movie now has to be a franchise. And it was before the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff like that, where everything had to be a franchise. Look at Leprechaun. Look at the Freddy Krueger movies. But I mean, this movie ends with her bathing in blood, becoming the Queen Redcap. They all bow down to her and everything like that. The end.
That's wild.
So I have a question on that.
Go for it.
Since now she's the queen, because we missed a part where how she became the queen.
By making the deal. And then
she went down.
She killed the aunt's kid.
Yeah.
She killed her. She smushed her eyes in. Jamie's cousin.
Because the cousin wanted to take the baby.
And then after that, all the red caps were bowing down to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, because she wanted to. Yeah, you're right, Deb.
And then that's when she went out, and then they put the blood on her and everything.
Yeah.
So my question is, now that she's that, are they keeping her and the baby, or did they give the baby? Or are they giving the baby back to
whatever
Jamie?
She wants? That nice call, Deb. That goes into the segue of what I wanted to do, what happened after.
Right.
So what do you think happened after this movie, Deborah? In your imagination, how would you have written it further or whatever?
Well, I would think that she gave the baby back to him and she stayed. And then, but now he's going to have to be like feeding them to keep them. But because she's still her, not necessarily her human self, she still knows Jamie and the baby. She'll also take care of everybody, but also the Red Cap since she's their queen now.
Shit.
I kind of see her living in both worlds, going back and forth between the two.
Going back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Helping them out when they need something or whatever, but maintaining her family out there. You know what I'm saying? Doing queen and shit, you know, whatever. I can see that happening.
And then she's kind of like the local police, sending them out when something happens in the village, or some newbies come in and somebody messes something up, or somebody comes to hurt a local, or
that would actually be a good sequel. Like if they wrote it right, because like the stuff that you're saying sounds really like really good.
It would have to be where everything's perfect and everything's great, and somebody new comes in and either kills Jamie or the kid or Maya and ruins the perfectness.
Man, you know how that goes.
Well,
but you know how to deal
Maya,
with
because
what were we saying, Cobb?
You know how to deal with the fairy folk like that.
How?
Iron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely iron. Remember that, guys. You ever encounter something like that? Iron. Good old old-fashioned iron always works. They can't deal with it.
Not copper, not bronze, not lead. Iron.
Not stainless steel. Iron.
So what if like somebody came in and then started trouble with the people from in the village or in the town, and then they end up killing Jamie, right? So then, what's her name, Maya? Like sends the Red Caps out to do their work and everything, and then at the end, like they end up killing Maya, and so then the baby becomes the queen, and then it just continues. It continues like
so, kind of just like I said.
No, you didn't say that. I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, I know, because you were waiting.
It had to be like further out because, like, say the baby had kids and stuff.
Instead of a banter, instead of a sharing, a trading of words and experiences, you're just waiting for my turn. Okay, it's not like they quit talking. Now it's my turn.
Okay, I'm just gonna shut up.
No, just listen.
I didn't hear
and
you
share.
say that.
You guys, it's been like this all night.
It's been like this for 3
you know what, though?
years.
I want to go back to the beginning of the movie, and I want to say something that I didn't get to say because Josh kept jumping around.
What's up, Deb?
Please continue.
When the thugs had came into to their apartment,
mm-hmm.
and they beat up Jamie, and then the other two were trying. They're all like gonna go after Maya, and she grabbed the knife, and then the main one, when he was like, "Oh, you're gonna stab me? Oh, you're blah 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 blah."
Oh,
and he puts the knife to her chin, to his chin, and he was like, "Do it." I told Josh that part made me mad because she was all like, "Oh," as soon as he told me do it, I would have done it.
I wouldn't have hesitated. Because it's your kids and your husband in life right now, your unborn baby. And
they already did that to your husband.
Yeah.
And so, Josh, would you be mad if
No.
if I would have stabbed him? I'm like, because I would not have, especially when he put the knife to his own chin and said, "Do it. Go ahead, do it." Okay.
Exactly.
Yep.
And he did that to what's the name? He was all punkish about it. He got all scared in the fight. Remember?
Yep.
He was I did not like him.
Nope.
I thought he was
quick to yell at her. He was quick to yell at her and get into a big old fight with her.
He was whack. He was a puss.
Yeah.
So,
he was.
Is there anything in this movie that y'all would change?
The husband.
Yeah.
His whole character.
But would it mess up the movie then?
It'd have made it better.
It would have
I
made
don't
it
care if
better.
it would have messed up. I don't think it would have messed up the movie. I think it gave it a little bit more integrity because he was so spineless that it just didn't even. She the one who saved the whole damn family. She did everything. She saved him in the house when the guys were beating him up. She saved him again when they was over there kicking his ass again, multiple times. You know, she did everything. What was he there for? What was he there for? That joke was a waste of freaking oxygen. He's taking up space.
I agree. So, Deb, is there anything you would have changed?
No. No. Nuh-uh.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, just leave it that way, and well, you know what? I just didn't like that. You know, she bathed in blood. She's there in the rain, and they all bow to her. The end. It needed just little bit more. Just a little.
It wants you. That's how they get you, Josh.
But
you know where they learned that from? That's some classic Evil Dead shit right there.
By the time the sequel comes out, I am not gonna give a fuck. I'll just tell you that right now.
And I don't think if they were to change Jamie's character, like if he would have just went to his apartment and not had said anything, and then they wouldn't have done anything, I don't think it could have changed the whole story about them going to Ireland because the aunt still passed away.
They still would have moved out that way.
And then you have the option of, hey, my aunt willed this house to us and we don't have to pay anything. Or we can stay here with a bunch of bullies and pay rent.
So it's like Indiana Jones, where Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, he was completely unnecessary in the first movie.
Yeah. Well, no, he was necessary because...
No, because what was he trying to do?
Jamie was necessary because Jamie was
necessary. Indiana Jones was not.
Oh, yeah.
Because they would all died. They would all died anyway when they opened up the Ark.
The Ark, yeah. As a matter of fact, more people might have survived had they just taken the Ark, gone straight to their secret island, and all melted their faces away.
That's a good point. I never thought that.
What did Indy do? Just make other people get in the way and get hurt and killed?
This is kind of true. He really was kind of playing catch up. He really, you know what?
That's a whole nother podcast.
You know what time it is, right?
Yeah. Hit the special effects. Where is it at?
Time for the calculator of doom. Cobweb, since you are the voice for today and then the starting and ending it, I believe you should go first today.
Hey, no problem. I got you right here. I give this movie a solid 8.
Nice.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was very interesting. I love the whole concept of a character that we've never seen before, really in movies, the Red Hat and the Red Caps. You know what I'm saying? The Red Caps. And it was cool. I think it could be a start of a good franchise. Like we saying, Deb, it's possibilities here. There's great possibilities here.
Deb, what do you give it?
I also give it an 8.
What?
Yeah, because it gave me a whole bunch of different emotions watching this movie. Even though it made me mad most of the time, I didn't want to stop watching it.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't one of those movies that I'm like, man, I don't want to watch this movie. I don't want to podcast it. It wasn't one of those. And it did make me mad, but it kept me into the movie.
Wow.
And I think if they can keep it up with a good story, I think a part 2 would be good.
Yes.
If they don't mess it up.
Whew.
Because it has a lot of potential for it to be good.
Yes, and a lot of potential to be bad.
It does.
Because you can mess up something good.
Fingers.
Right.
Cross our fingers.
So even though we're not doing today as a video podcast, we're still doing what we've learned to do. That way we'll keep our original choices unless during the conversation we change it. We've been writing it down. Cobweb has the Uno cards, which is a great idea, by the way. I wrote this one down before we started the pod, and I'm going to stick with it. I wrote it down because I thought it was going to be funny, but I give the movie a 7.23715.
What the Okay. You gave it a 7.
So
you going to do that math?
I already did.
Okay.
So between the three of us, the movie gets a 7.745. So a 7 3/4.
That's good.
Deb, he just completely messed it all up.
Yeah, he did. But
Yeah, he did. He should have just gave it an 8 like both of us did.
I know.
He enjoyed it. That's why he gave it this point 2578321.
It wasn't it.
He
It
enjoyed
wasn't
the
an
ending
8.
too much, though.
It wasn't an 8, and it wasn't a 7. That's why I gave it, and I didn't want to go with the 7.25 or 7.5.
It was almost there for you.
Yeah.
It was almost
not
there.
Quite.
Not quite. If they had like a little bit more red cap, killing, or a little bit more folklore about the red caps, a little bit more knowledge about them would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yes, that would have made it. That would have made it a 10. Got to see some more backstory. Or
That's what you get on 2. That's what you get on part 2.
Yeah.
You get the backstory.
I was saying, what if part 2 is more? Well, it would have to be because
it's going to ginger snap
Maya's
it.
the queen now, so
it's going to go back to the past.
Now I'm getting I want to see part 2.
You get
what it's about.
Prequels. We got prequels.
When they get to part 5, it could be Red Caps in the Hood.
We already got those. They're called Bloods.
I was talking about Leprechaun.
Jeez.
I was talking about Leprechaun in the Hood. I wasn't talking about actual.
Damn, am I right? Yo,
I'm not gonna say anything.
I was.
I knew you were talking about Leprechaun, but it sounded funny too.
And then we could do Red Caps in space.
Red Cap.
That's where they came from.
The Red Caps?
Man.
Yeah, they're aliens.
Wait a minute, Cobweb. Have you seen all the Leprechaun movies?
I'm not sure. Some of them are kind of like, I really wasn't that big on them. There were a couple that I saw that were okay.
Have you seen Leprechaun in the Hood?
Yes.
Leprechaun in space?
No.
Okay.
Maybe bits and pieces, but I couldn't stomach it. I can't. My mind can't wrap around the concept why there's a leprechaun in space. It just doesn't. I can't.
If you can believe that one exists, you can believe that there's one in space.
That's the rationale around it. I've heard.
So Deb and I are going to do I don't know if it's going to be a Patreon exclusive or if it's just going to be because Deb and I saw a movie the other day called Bit. Was it Bit or Bite?
Yeah. B-I-T. Bit.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that one. Didn't want to bring you into that one. Not because we didn't want to bring you into it, but because we were just here at the house. I was like, let's watch this movie. Then we watched the movie and we're like, let's pot it. And then we sat down to pot it and it was like, I'm tired. And Deb goes, I'm tired. And we both passed out.
You guys got to finish it.
So we didn't even start it. So, I mean, technically, if you want to get in on this episode, you can.
All right, we'll think about it.
But it has to be a Patreon exclusive.
Okay, you guys got it. Give us a little bit of Josh and Deb.
Explaining?
Yeah. No, I'm down with it. I'll do it. We can do that next week. If you guys want.
Well, next week,
that's right.
we're bringing a special guest from the Hip Hop Digest. Over 700 episodes into it. Deb and I always talk about how we've been podcasting since before it was podcasting. This man actually has the numbers
to prove it.
To prove, so he's 700 episodes in with Hip Hop Digest. He was one of the podfathers on Felipe's Garage. We're bringing in Mr. E. Green to talk about the 1979 classic Phantasm.
This should be very interesting.
I seem to remember a not so happy conversation between Cobweb and myself about Phantasm, but no.
I gotta watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again because I saw it that one day, and there was stuff that was ticking me off about it, but there was stuff that I liked about it, and I gotta watch it again. I'm gonna do that.
I'm not gonna front.
I've never seen it, so this will be my first time.
I'm not gonna front. I love this movie. I'm gonna give this movie like a 15, but then again, I haven't seen this movie since like 1982. So I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it again. It might be a 3 now. but in 1980 something, it was like a 15.
I doubt that. I think that movie is, if you check on Shudder, it is listed in on this series that they have called the 100 Scariest Moments in Horror Movies.
That's just because it's got that scary old man.
Yes, it's definitely ranked in there. It is in the top 100 somewhere. I don't know where.
Too bad we're not doing video.
But it's there.
Yeah.
Because Josh was doing that red rum.
He's always doing something.
What? When are we doing The Shining?
I don't know.
We haven't decided which Shining we're going to do. The miniseries or the original?
There's a miniseries?
Yeah.
Yes. I've talked to her about it. Yeah.
Let's do the miniseries.
So I think we're done here for today. You know what? We're an hour and 16 minutes into it, and we haven't even talked about all our social medias at Cast of the Pod.
Facebook.
Instagram. Twitter. TikTok. YouTube. Patreon. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to Brendan from Upkick MMA. Shout out to Matt. Shout out to Aaron. Shout out to Sam Haim. Sometimes I call him Samhain. Sam Haim, you know how I feel about the name. Sam Haim, to our anonymous nobody. And yeah, big shout out to all of them. And then, you know what else we have? A Threads account. You know what Threads is?
What is that, Josh?
It's a ripoff of Twitter, allegedly. But you use your Instagram account. And it's yet another account that I'm going to completely forget about and probably not post on. But we have it at Cast of the Pod.
Oh, I better look into that.
Yes. So, yes, that way you can claim your name. So you can make sure you have your Cobweb 411. And see what I did there? Cobweb 411. Yeah.
I think I might have to do that.
All right.
There should be no others.
I've got nothing.
We also have the number.
Oh shit! Deborah's got to bring up the old. Yes. You know what? I haven't heard from Chucky in a while. Cobweb, you gonna give him a call? He hasn't put out any new episodes or anything like that. I mean, you're his best friend.
You know what? I think the best thing for us to do right now with Chucky is to give him something really scary to watch. He should have watched this joint right here. He'd have wigged out on the freaking red caps. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You should watch Phantasm.
Hey, Chucky, if you're out there, if you're still listening to us, give us a call. Maybe you forgot the phone number. Chucky, did you get a brand new phone? Call us at 786-763-2278. Leave us a message. This is for anybody that can hear it. 786-763-2278. Give us a call. Your message can come out on Cast of the Pod. Or maybe you can become a contributor or something. Or Patreon.com. Cast of the Pod.
What if Chucky was like watching a scary movie and then he got scared and he had his phone in his hand and he like jumped and his phone like
fell in the toilet,
flying and hit the wall or fell in the toilet? Why would it fall in the toilet? Was he watching?
He's watching a scary movie in the dark in the bathroom.
What in the world? Joshua, don't. This man, don't be embarrassing that man like that. I don't even understand how you would be doing that.
Where do y'all watch?
What are we doing? Facing the toilet or something? And on the floor? I don't understand.
I mean, it's possible he could be on the toilet watching a movie on his phone. and then got scared, and then
Scared the
phone
shit
fell
out of
into
him.
the toilet. I mean, it's possible.
He was there just
People
in
do
case.
that. People do that. They watch movies when they're in the toilet.
All right, y'all. So until next time,
I'm Cobweb.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Deb.
You've been warned.
Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.